All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Part 4, Episode 14.
We had that wonderful episode with Joseph and Josuke.
Yes.
And the invisible baby.
Yes, the invisible baby.
That's still invisible.
Yes, but I just loved the humor of having him deal with the shop owner who's trying to sell him on baby products, diapers, and it ends up being this whole fiasco. And now Josuke's freaking credit card has this huge bill on it. And Joseph probably doesn't think about money, anymore because of the Speedwagon Foundation and stuff like that. And
He's
also the fact that not even counting that, because that's not really affiliated with him as much. He's loaded with money.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, he'll probably be like, oh, I'm sorry, Josuke, about that. Here's your inheritance.
Right. Here's $5 million.
Excuse me while I die. Which, by the way, I am really glad that we're getting good amount of time with Joseph and Josuke, because Joseph is a fan favorite character, like one of our favorite characters in just the entire thing, but also having... I would say moments where it's not necessarily just about the stand battle and how we're going to defeat them, but actually having things be more like a puzzle and then connecting it back to the relationship between characters. It's like a Rocky. You get it.
Good stuff.
You get it. It's really good stuff. So we're heading into this next episode where we'll see maybe if they're going to add in some more clues like they sprinkled in last episode
for that
regarding
hand cut offer person.
Yeah, because we talked about in the last discussion in the radio. How the boyfriend was like, where's my girlfriend? She's not responding. I gave her a engagement ring with a ruby on it,
which is
and we're like,
on the hand,
okay.
And they did that whole thing of like not showing the one like author person or whatever, and that was suspicious. So
yeah, looking forward to more, guys. So without further ado, let's get into this. Koichi! Playing video games. Oh! yeah. That's nice, the combination of I'm doing okay, but 2 days ago.
なんでも昨日透明の赤ちゃんを拾ったとコスケ君の父親のジョースターさんにだけ心を開いている子供で、ジョースターさんが外にいないとそこら中のものを透明にしまくるらしいですよ。
そのジョースターさんはしばらくこの町に滞在するの。
Awesome.
そうなるでしょうね。
ピンクダークの少年を描いてる岸辺露伴。
ピンクダークボーイ。
ピンクダークの少年知ってますとも。大ファンですよ僕。好きかい。サスペンスホラーって言うんですか？
Wow, this is getting really meta.
Wait, is that the author from the previous episode?
Yeah,
that totally
probably
wasn't a bad guy.
Yeah. Well, crap. This guy's definitely a stand user then.
Question is he the stand user?
Yeah, we'll see.
16歳で今は20歳なんだ。
20? Wow. Definitely a stand user.
Yep.
I love how Koichi's 16, but he, like, they both look like they're, like, in middle school or something.
Yeah. Oh my god. Let's go visit the comics artist house part 1 of... Creepy. Is this Suki's voice actor? I think it is, yeah.
Oh yeah, I think so.
それでぶしつけなんですけれど、サインとかいただけたら嬉しいと思いまして。フ
ァンか。そりゃいい。サインの1枚や2枚ならお安い。
Whoa, the way the light, just kinda.
Maybe he turned it on or something,
but why was it dark then?
Halfway. Take a few steps back.
Now, the thing is,
Why did they show them crossing the threshold?
I don't know.
What is going on? This is bad.
Although it doesn't have to be, because of like how they've done other stand users, you know?
They're showing tons of geometric like shapes that are kind of odd and wow.
全然迫力が違うぞ。
今日は便利だけどごちゃごちゃしてるよね。とても森王朝のような清々しい環境で仕事ができないよ。
I like his design though.
ファックスのコピーが進歩してるし、原稿の配達も4時間あれば完璧に届けられるシステムもある。
Nice. I see.
とかスタッフはどうなさっている
I have none.
いないよ。
Wow. They're like, what?
あの緻密な絵を1週間で19ページも ?4 日で書けるよ。カラーで5日だな。残りの日は旅行とかして。
It's like Araki's basically saying, yeah, this is how good I am, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
No, no.
虫や雲が多いね。毛網を張るが、朝夕網を畳む者もいる。ところで君たち、面白い漫画というものはどうすれば描けるか知ってるか
The characters.
Research.
リアリティだよ。
Oh.
リアリティこそが作品に命を。
Yep, he manipulates reality.
自分の見たことや体験したこと、感動したことを書いて。
Whoa.
Makes sense.
部に足がついていて、どこに目があるかとか、メスとオスの違いは
Cool.
あるとか、雲を描く場合、漫画家は見て知っていなくてはいけない。雲の糸というのは空気に触れて初めて固まるのだが、その糸はどの穴から出て。
Well.
裂かれた雲は死ぬ前にどんな風に苦しみもがくのかとか。
Oh my god.
知っていなくてはならないのだ。
Well,
I mean, that's not much different than just squashing it, but...
for not being a people person, he's really enjoying having them be here. Oh! He's licking a spider butt. That's not necessary. Oh!
その苦しそうな表情をを吐く顔の参考になる。スケッチして。嘘っぽくなったよ。もういい、やめだ。いい作品のためになら。
すみません。
サインだったね。
Forget the vomit on the floor. Yeah.
ここまでいろんなことを追求してるから、ピンクダークの少年はあんなすげえ漫画。
And this is a horror manga,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. I have a bad feeling about this. Yeah, seriously! Seriously!
Oh, why? I wonder why.
Look at the way things are changing.
Well, oh, is it changing or is it just that it's set
Where
up
was the
like
triangle?
a comic?
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just that he sets it up like it's inside his comic.
Right.
決めつけてはいませんよ。嫌な予感って言っただけで。
それにさ、仮にロハン先生がスタンド使いだったとしたら。
I knew you had a weird reason for coming here. How's it?
力気になってるあれを。てからね。
あれ？あれって何ですか？
もう鈍いな、光一くん。机の上だよ。電話の横。鋭く見なよ。さっきから鋭く目つけと。
Oh, and then look at the picture in the background with the eye on the wall and the.
Yeah, yeah.
つまりまだ誰も見たこと。
Mm.
見て返すだけだよ。
No, 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 no. Whoa!
Oh, that's the stand?
Oh my god, yes! Whoa!
やはり僕の原稿と君たちは相性
Compatible.
私の能力ヘブンズドアによって
Heaven's Door.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. Oh my god, yes! What is this?
Okay.
Yes! This is awesome!
Right.
This is awesome!
いろんなことが記憶されている。
Whoa!
生きてきたすべてがね、それを読むために君たちを本に変える。 君たち自身の人生が書かれた本にね。
Oh, that would be crazy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm just going to learn everything about you.
Right.
I'm gonna rip off JoJo's.
インタビューとかでは得られない。このロハン自身が体験したのと同じ 100% のリアルさで伝えてもらうことが。
That is so cool.
Okay.
なんだお前この能力はエコーズ。このロハン以外にも同じような能力。
Whoa.
I'm gonna make a manga about this.
He's like, what?
Uh-huh. This is so meta.
This is amazing, though.
Uh-huh.
空城城太郎、山岸優香子、西村奥安、小林珠美。なんてことだ。
I love it.
面白い。僕は漫画家として最高のネタを掴んだぞ。身の記憶をもらう。僕の漫画のネタにするためにね。エコー！僕らをあなたのスタンドで攻撃するのを直ちにやめてください。
Oh my god, this is amazing, y'all.
Wow. Wow.
他人からは軽く見られがちだが、いざとなったら恐怖を克服もきっと好かれる。
You make for a good protagonist.
Uh-huh.
うるせえな。今残念ながらエコーズにセーフティーロックをかけさせてもらったよ。
What?
君はこのロハンに対し
Okay.
できなくなっている。
Oh, he's altering. He's altering.
the story,
He's
yeah.
altering their old story.
なよ。今僕
Oh my god.
Holy crap.
Oh my god.
That's insane.
だからさ。
That's stupidly busted.
Whoa.
Because he could just say, like, he could say anything there.
But it probably has limits to what is realistic. See, that's the whole point of it, is it has to be something...
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it probably has something to do with him.
Yeah. I think it doesn't have to be limited to him, though.
Well, like, so you're saying that he could write in Koichi and have it say that, like, Josuke falls over dead or something like that?
Yeah, I don't think he can alter the past. It's like... Oh, dang.
Interesting.
Because it won't be realistic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Whoa. Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, you don't need this.
Right.
Or he's like, don't you know? This is what I've been doing this whole time.
Gotcha.
Nice. I love this character.
Okay. This is how Araki stays young.
Yes, indeed.
ちょっとというのはこの完成した漫画を誰も読まないんじゃないかと思って不安な気分がだんだん大きくなるから、そんな気分が16歳の頃から繰り返し続いていた時、3ヶ月前何者かに矢でいられたことによって
Ah, there you go.
ヘブンズドアの
Very recently. Oh, is he gonna tear it off? No, okay.
君のリアリティを
Oh, he is!
Oh! Oh!
なあ、光一くん。ロハン先生っていい人だったな。
Whoa.
They don't remember.
Because they don't remember, yeah. Because he even wrote in specific things about their experiences itself.
So they lose against the stand user and that's it. They don't beat him and he's just still out there. Wow. Wow. Holy crap.
20キロも体重が減ってるんだ。見た目は全然変わってない。キスタンドの仕業だ。
That's half his body weight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he can't. He can't. It's like a dream. It's like a dream where you wake up and you immediately forget it, even though you know it was important to remember. Oh my god.
Holy
I love
crap.
this stand.
Okay.
Oh, and just suddenly you're here again.
Uh-huh.
That is genius. Araki, you freaking genius. Yeah! Yeah, okay. Okay. Awesome. Oh, I have chills right now, y'all. This is so good. To be continued? Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my god!
Holy crap.
What?
Okay.
What?
As far as not only terrifying stand abilities, but also terrifying way to have it be handled of having the stand user really, truly beat them, and then it's just... Because, like, okay, the whole thing with Josuke and Okuyasu...
Right.
Alright, cool. And that's how they'll sort of bring it back around so nothing really happens that has a permanent effect.
Oh, you're saying that Josuke's going to reattach the pieces with his crazy diamond?
Because we know that they get brought back to it. So, but the thing is, like, if not for that, they were setting it up the entire time to just be, nope. Enemy stand user wins. That's it. There you go. You know. Wow. Want you, I don't know if I need you, but...
Kishibe Rohan. Oh, nice, nice, yeah.
Ooh, I want you, I don't know if I need you, but ooh, I would die to find out.
Oh my god. Favorite stand power so far.
Okay. I still like Bad Company more.
This is
from
way
the
better.
standpoint of entertainment.
This is way
from the standpoint
better.
of entertainment, but from the standpoint of like the narrative, no pun intended, and what they did with this stand and making it terrifying and how they could have resolved this, like they could have totally done something where they're just like, let's leave this stand here for now. And not do anything with it. And maybe he doesn't continue to leech off of Koichi that dramatically. Maybe he's like, you keep having your adventures, and then you'll come see me later. And then they could have just left it there, and it's to be continued. And then they go into another arc right then, and then 10 episodes later they come back to it because they're like, Koichi's been acting really strange, yeah. And then they fix it, But they,
oh my gosh,
oh man,
I love the idea though that every time we go into an episode and we're like, all right, who's going to be the stand user this week,
Mm-hmm.
In part 4, we have been getting these twists upon what we expect of the stand users in that they are all living. They're doing their lives. Right. They're not hunting the protagonists.
Yep. So they don't necessarily need to be defeated. Sometimes they do. Like in this case, this is a situation where it definitely needs to be defeated.
Or they need to restore Koichi and Hazamada.
Right.
More specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing that I think is really crazy about this ability, specifically with Heaven's Door, is that Rohan, Kishibe Rohan, he's not someone that necessarily has to lose here. I'm going to go out on a limb and say something crazy, but actually one of the most genius things they could do in this show is completely subvert all expectations, have them all lose, and Rohan becomes their best friend. And they're just all best friends with him in the show, just moving forward.
That would be crazy. That would be
And he's just
insane.
basically this insert for Araki, just casually writing their adventures down.
Yeah.
And they never find out. There'll be no literary reason for them to ever find out other than maybe there comes to be this thing where he's like, okay, y'all are really strong, and I don't want to invoke the wrath of this Jotaro guy.
Right.
So what I'll do is I won't demand too much of your time. I'll kind of keep it just one at a time, like once a week.
Well, yeah,
you know,
like they literally could set up a system. Like now he's kind of gotten aggressive with it.
He has gotten a bit aggressive here,
so that's probably off the table. But they could just
Probably.
have it be something where they make an agreement of, hey, I'd love to get content from you guys. Just, stop by. You can have someone else be here with you so you make sure I'm not doing anything shady. And then just let me basically learn about your adventures and write about them.
Oh my gosh.
Now, they might not have necessarily wanted to do that because he can read about anything about them, and that's kind of an invasion of privacy. But, man, wow.
Now,
Wow. What?
this is a crazy thought,
Mm-hmm.
but do you think that Hazamada
Mm-hmm.
had already been there? And that's why he was so pressured and so like, let's go, let's go.
Whoa.
My address leaked.
Uh-huh.
How did all of this come to be?
Yeah, and he was the one who saw the notes and everything. I think you hit the nail on the head.
He knew every single thing to do in order to get Koichi into this whole
and to read it and everything.
situation here.
Wow.
It was almost eerily like. Now, they don't have to explain that.
Right, but the thing is, everything was set up, even with the whole thing of Koichi being like, what package, or what?
Right.
And
why would he zero in specifically on that? Because that was the condition needed in order to activate his Stan's ability.
Yep.
Which, by the way, I like that the condition is something that
is like very specific.
It's very specific. It feels very Hunter x Hunter. It's something that's a condition that's actually difficult to clear.
It doesn't work in any kind of fight, but
No.
the thing is that if you just are living somewhere and someone reads it, then cool.
Yeah. And then there was the whole issue of compatibility,
Right.
which I don't know what that is. And I think also you probably, if he was, dealing with this whole kind of thing, he'd have no reason to tell them what makes someone compatible.
It could be that they have to be a fan. It could be
They
that
have to enjoy it.
Right, yeah, like they have to already enjoy his work. And then they read that, and
Gotcha.
then boom, there you go.
And that's why he's constantly fretting about making sure it's always enjoyable and that these readers keep enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's a subconscious thing, I would say.
Uh-huh.
Well, one, you as a writer know the pressure of what it's like to present something out there to a nameless, faceless crowd that maybe they'll love it, maybe they'll hate it, maybe they'll think something neutral. Like, who knows? You have no idea. And yet that can cripple you with insecurity and fears and worry and stuff. Especially in this case because he has his whole mechanical schedule broken down, which had to be kind of Araki's being like, all right, you guys don't know how hard I work for this stuff here. Like, I'm going to let you all a little insight here. Like, I do this all in 5 days.
And that's if I have color pages.
Or I think it was 4 days only.
Right.
Is what he needs to do. 19 pages. This is this guy here, not necessarily Araki.
But
I would love to know.
This is probably just straight up Araki.
It's probably something that translates really well to what Araki's situation is. And mods, if you see any worthwhile comments regarding what Araki's schedule is, pass it on to us, because that's pretty interesting. But it's so meta. It's such a genius stand.
Oh, yes.
It's such a genius stand. Oh my god.
Well, and it's terrifying from a visual perspective, because I thought at first that it was just going to be like he takes control of their bodies. I'm like, come on, we've seen this before. But then no, they turn into books. Like their skin comes off, and then it's pages. Like, that's creepy. That's creepy. Yeah.
As far as like a stand that I would come up with in like my, when you have moments of genius in the shower.
Oh.
This would be like combined with like sleep deprivation and shower genius. I still wouldn't come up with something this
right, but this is
brilliant.
But this is the kind of thing that you would want to come up with.
Oh yeah, this is exactly what I would want to come up with. The whole meta aspect of it is not only genius, it shifts the perspective of the story being about, I would say, present conflict and how you resolve and react to it moving forward in the future, but actually introducing solutions into the past for future conflict. It is an acausal ability. It moves and affects things out of linear fashion. Which is just, God, I love it.
Right. I am glad though they, in a way, that they didn't have the author person that we didn't see last episode, because I'm guessing that was this person, you know?
Yeah.
That didn't end up being the person that cuts off the hands. You know, I mean, I'm assuming that this isn't the person that cuts off the hands.
That's actually a good point. I don't think they're the same.
Yeah, well,
I don't think.
Oh,
no. I don't even think the person that was at the table talking to the editor makes sense as being Kishibe Rohan here, because here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't need to interact with anyone.
Sure.
He said he can do the whole weekly production process and send it off to the people and everything right from this studio.
Well, yeah.
So why would he ever need to leave the house?
It was a signing.
Oh, was it a signing?
Yeah, and we could check.
Okay.
We could check the previous episode to see what the name was, because they did mention the name. I'm pretty certain
they didn't. I'm pretty sure they didn't mention
the
name.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, whatever. We could check, but if it is the case, either way, it's something where basically it seemed to be basically saying, all right, we're going to deal with who is, I can only assume, the main bad of this part.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed kind of early, considering that this part is 3 cours.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, how are they going to be able to handle that? Is it going to be something where he gets away, or, you know, what? But then they ended up going into this, so it's like, okay, cool.
Yeah. So we'll deal with this whole situation. I don't think they'll do a 3-parter.
I don't think so either, yeah.
But with Josuke and Okuyasu coming into this whole situation, they're the 3 stands, you know, between them and Rohan here are so different, incredibly different. Yeah, it has to be a form of Crazy Diamond being used to restore Koichi and Hazamada in some way. Maybe not Hazamada, but restoring Koichi back in some way.
Right.
But the thing is that I don't think they would then be able to alter anything. That's the part that I think is a little terrifying here.
Well, no, because if it restores it to a previous state, then if there
there's reconnecting.
Well, yeah, but like he's able to restore things to previous states. So like he turns, you know, he turned tires or whatever back into, or oil back into tires, or tires back into oil, or whatever, you know, he's done stuff where he changes the form of something. So I would assume that it would follow that he could also revert, like he could take out the excess writing.
But see, that's the thing that's always crazy to me, is that Crazy Diamond's ability is, one, extremely busted, but having it be something where he can revert it back to not the original state, because original state would be nothing.
What do you mean?
Meaning that...
Oh, if he reverts Koichi back too far or whatever?
Right. He has to actually know exactly how far to go.
Sure, and it's probably something that he doesn't need to consciously, like, know. I mean, maybe he does, but...
But that's the thing.
It's probably just like he has a mental image in his mind of this was a previous state or whatever, and then he reverts it to that.
Right. It's just the kind of thing where you could see how... like, he can't win this here. Like, I'm looking at this stanza. Josuke, yeah, because it's something of where just one, the idea that he doesn't know what's going on here. Sure. If he gets underneath the control of this ability.
What I would say is most likely is that Okuyasu would become under control of it because he's stupid. And then Josuke will be the one not under the control of it, and then that way he'll be able to fix things, but then he'll have to deal with whatever he has to deal with once it's at a point where, you know, potentially Okuyasu and Koichi are turned against him, and all the stuff's happening, and you know, Rohan knows about his stand and all the things it can and can't do. Right. So, you know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm guessing what it's going to be is there's going to be a technicality in Rohan's commands or his inserts, his writing into their memories, and he will get both of them I think you'll get both Josuke and Okuyasu, and they'll pull some technicality on the things that he wrote because they're still aware of the fact that they're experiencing this at that moment. Okay. Whereas Koichi probably was panicking so much that he wasn't able to think clearly and find a way to juke around the stuff that had been put in him.
And then afterwards, Rohan just took his time to write down all the stuff he needed to be as detailed as he needed. And okay.
And not do too much, though, that he said that he would become, an artificial soul or something? Or an artificial...
Yeah. Uh-huh.
What does that mean? Basically, too much tampering means
I don't think he necessarily means something literal by it. It's just that because he's so obsessed with realism, he doesn't want to change too much of who they are, so that then the experiences that they have are just, regurgitated out of some fabrication.
Okay. In that respect, then, he might make some deal with them. I think this is a bad theory, but he might make some deal with them saying, hey, no, I get it. I can let Koichi go, but the main reason why I'm going to let him go is because he's having less adventures now. But in some ways, I kind of needed him to be noticeably, absent and kind of acting weird so that y'all would come here. Right. Because he now knows everything about them.
Right.
He knows his ability. That's the reason why I don't think it's going to be so Crazy Diamond just reverts things, because he now knows everything about all of them.
Well, okay, the way I can see them doing that twist is the whole thing with Hanazawa or whatever his name is.
Hamazada or Hazamada.
Hazamada, yeah.
Hazamada. I have it written down, yeah.
Hazamada is that they could do the reveal that he's doing the same thing with Koichi that he did with Hazamada. Mm-hmm. And he's saying, this is all to lure you guys in here, right? And I know everything about what you can do.
Right.
So he's like, okay, I know that that's what you can do, but I'm going to avoid that, because what would normally happen if they were to just follow him in there and Rohan wasn't aware is that they would see Rohan messing with Koichi and they'd be like, holy crap, what's going on here? And then they'd stop it, right?
Right.
But if he knows about that, and because of that, he doesn't basically use his stand in front of them so that they don't get the information.
Yeah, Koichi's just like, this is my good friend, Rohan.
Right, exactly, yep. Mm-hmm.
They would have nothing
to
suspect.
Check this out,
He's a manga artist, isn't that so cool?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think he's going to get both of them. I think he set this whole thing up to be another perfect trap. I think that even though he's only been doing this for 3 months, his stand is something that's so hyper-specific.
Yeah.
Hyper-specific that I don't see there being a story that's as engaging. Haha, Araki, meta with the whole thing of this. I don't see there being a story that's as engaging without them being put under the control of Heaven's Door.
Okay.
So it's about what do they do while Heaven's Door is unveiling them.
Possibly. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And I gotta say, just thinking about how many different things are layered into this stand. The idea of just being able to interact and view someone's past. Here's the crazy thing about the past, is that the past is me saying the past just earlier.
Well, right. It doesn't
happening
have to
live.
It doesn't have to be their past. It could also be their present, because it's just he knows everything about them. He won't necessarily know their future, but...
No, he doesn't know their future. You're right. Mm-hmm. What I'm saying is that the present becomes the past in split seconds.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
all...
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So there's so much that if we assume that he's just kind of shown the tip, the beginnings of what his stand can do here, there's so much more crazy stuff we could get. Now, obviously, this episode serves as the introduction to his character and his stand's ability, and we get some cool interactions between Hazamada and Koichi.
I did not expect that. Yeah.
Which I still think that's totally a clue that Hazamada was under the control of Heaven's Door already.
Especially since he didn't come back the second time. Like he went home, and I guess, he's got different instructions. So
yeah, that is a good question, though. Did Hazamada know about echoes? Because if he did, then we can on some level assume
that he wanted specifically Koichi.
We'll know that Hazamada was under the control long before he encountered them as stand users. That actually then brings up another interesting thing.
What?
It's probably not that Hazamada is under the control of it as well, because Hazamada was a stand user as well. And And Rohan was basically like, oh, stand users, there's this crazy thing going on right
Oh,
now.
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, yep.
So it all kind of falls apart in that respect.
But
although
it's still a nice
is
headcanon.
it still is a fun headcanon, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if he wanted to spin it that way, he could just have it be a thing where here's something that's even really more dark and depressing, and I'd say it would be pretty cool for Rohan, though. Who's to say he can't use his ability on himself?
Yep.
Have you did
yeah.
your mind immediately go to that too when you saw him changing things?
Well, especially when you think about how okay, who's the biggest fan and critic of a work? It's the writer,
themselves,
right?
Yeah.
So, and I'll bet you he reads his own manuscripts.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
Especially since it's something where he only got the stand ability 3 months ago. So what that means, I think, in a lot of ways, is that he talks so much about his past and leaving the city, and that's only for people that are, they seek worthless status. I don't do this for fame and fortune.
Right.
I think in some ways he has this violent, aggressive reaction to those kinds of things, not just to showcase that, yes, someone that, isolates themselves to create, manga, and study and get things as realistic as possible might have a little quirky, nature to them.
Sure.
But also that he has pushed himself, maybe with some of his own interference, to make him, work basically so perfectly and aggressively towards making the best stuff he could, especially since that's his motivation. And it's so explicitly, given there. There's some contradictions in something that Koichi brought up, basically that if you have already this ability, why do you need me? Why do you need me? You don't need me. You're so successful.
Yeah.
And what he's basically saying is that he's now so striving for perfection and realism that he's cannibalizing himself in a way by doing it this way.
Which means that if that is the case, I don't think it will be, but if that is the case, because I could totally see that being a thing, then they could potentially resolve it by having Josuke repair him. So then this aspect of him that he wrote into himself that causes him to go this far is gone.
That's genius.
I don't think they're gonna do that. Probably. But if they wanted to keep this guy around, that could be one way to do it.
I gotta say, I need that to happen.
Yeah.
You know why?
Why?
Because my original prediction was that there'd be a ultimate twist and Rohan would win. And he would become their best friend by inserting himself into their past, right? But by doing it this way, Josuke basically goes, oh, something changed. You've now become basically, obsessed to the point of perfection that you're increasingly becoming aware of your inability to reach perfection. There's something wrong there. And if he maybe stumbles upon it accidentally...
So maybe it's something that he wrote into himself, I want to always be able to see the imperfections of my work or something.
Right. Yeah, and it has a double aspect to it that he didn't expect. And
sure.
And that'd be so good because in a lot of ways, creative types, people that create and stuff, they really need to let go of the critical eye that they have for their own work.
Or at least they need to know when to let go of it.
I would say
it can be a hard transition.
Yeah, I would say that it would be basically the same thing by saying that, yes, there's a time to have it, but if you don't know how to do it at all, you'll never do it. Basically, if it's something you're actually incapable of doing, it's something that's going to be constantly, pressing, at the corners of your mind of what if it's basically, I would say the same thing of let go of the opinions of others regarding wanting to be liked.
Sure,
I definitely understand because I haven't written a book or published manga or anything like that, but the desire to be liked and to be thought well by people, that's something that is that's something that is a crippling, I would say, nasty thing, because you end up living not really for yourself. You end up living for these nebulous standards of people that don't even really exist for the most part. It's just like you assume them and stuff like that.
And with on the whole writing, creative side of things, at least this is how it was for me in a lot of ways. I can imagine it's like this for a lot of other people too, but not necessarily everyone, where I wanted to make stories not just because I loved stories, because I loved stories, that's a given, right? But it was also because I was disappointed with the other stories that I was seeing, right? And there was this hole that needed to be filled, of this idea of, okay, there are stories that need to be out there that aren't, right? And because of that, it can very easily become this thing, and in a lot of cases it did for different periods of time, where it was this hyper perfectionist like perspective, right? And I would take that to other stories too, and that's not a way to actually like enjoy what you're doing, like, because there's a reason that exists, and that can be useful to an extent, but since perfection is not actually attainable,
right,
you need to know when to throttle that back and basically say, all right, I've made something great, and shift out of that critiquing mode.
Taking pride in what you were able to do without going into, I would say, comparison. Because in order to call something perfect, you would have to basically say it is superior to all else.
Right. And that's never going to happen.
That's never going to happen.
Yeah.
One, because of our limited perception, in that we will never experience all things. So it's basically a pipe dream and stuff like that. You can have something that's perfect for you to experience, and that in that moment you experience that bliss that they were experiencing when they read his manuscript, and they were like, whoa, what is this? Like, is this what it's like? It's so much better than the real thing. It's not perfection, but I think you also get that little bit even reinforced from there, that's what Rohan wants, is he wants people to get that crazy elation he feels when he completes it in the written work, which is noble. I understand that. Yeah. But now he's taken it to a point where he's abducting,
Right, he's taking it a bit too far.
He's taking it a bit too far.
Just a little.
That's why I don't want him to be defeated or killed or pulverized by or anything like that. I want him to be changed and added to the squad. Like, this guy is so cool.
Because you don't want this stand to go away.
No, I do not. Yeah. It's just so freaking cool. Now, while he needs a dramatic character motivation change to where he would never, ever use it on another person without their, consent or agreement in some way, it needs to be done not just because of the, the reasons that they would probably pulverize him if he didn't agree to that, but also that his stand is so powerful. And if he was actually a part of the bro squad, he could break the plot a little bit.
Except that the mechanics behind him being able to use his stand are so restrictive. Like, it would never really work on anybody, and if it did work on somebody, they would know this guy's a problem anyways, but then they're not actually wanting to fight them. They're wanting to trick them for some reason, and why would they want to do that and everything? And like, maybe for information gathering, if he just had a bunch of people like that they suspect of being a stand user, just going in and reading his thing. But that's again, like, that's a pretty dark way to solve a problem. What?
You know what he can do?
What?
And this is genius. Do you know how many things you forget on a daily basis? Things that you just your body basically says, this is not an important memory. I'm just going to dump it.
Yeah.
What if you could come to a guy and you could basically ask for a perfect retelling, recollection of a specific day?
That'd be pretty cool.
That would be amazing.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
You'd be like, hey, I want to look to see where were the moments where I had the inspiration for this idea. I remember that I had the inspiration and it was around this week, but I don't remember the details of it. Can you bring that up? Absolutely. Guys, we're in a Sherlock kind of setup here.
Just mind palace everything.
Just mind palace everything. That's what this guy is. Don't kill him. Don't destroy his stand. Don't ruin him or whatever. Make him be a friend, an ally that you can call
be
upon.
Rehabilitated and everything, and make it so that you can actually trust him with doing that kind of stuff. Yes.
I think also this might be another subtle thing for Araki, is that Araki is recalling what he was like when he was that age. He's basically saying, yeah, when I was this age, I didn't have assistance. I did everything myself because I believed that only I could attain perfection. I had a little bit of an ego problem.
Okay.
And then when I let more people come into the process and help me out and stuff, you know, I ended up becoming a better person. And he needed maybe those people to help him, you know, come to that. And this could be a minor little bit into Araki's story, and we just don't know it yet.
Yeah.
And he's basically saying, yeah, this was a little bit of my character arc in some ways. That could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of my favorite stand users of all time.
Yes.
Stand
super
ability,
creative.
Stand abilities primarily.
Right, not the stand user so much as the stand itself.
Right, the stand user is pretty cool, good design.
Yeah. But
it's the stand ability.
The stand is what's awesome.
The stand is crazy. So
yeah.
Okay. Y'all,
good stuff.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction discussion. Looking forward to the next one. And if you want to see that next episode's reaction discussion right now, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You can get on early access there. You can watch full-length reactions there. And all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us about stories or JoJo's, non-spoilery, of course. Or yeah, just hang out and chat about whatever. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all next time.